Genealogy Matters presents the RootsTech Ride Along. And here we are with none other than Lori Olson White, who in our genealogy, our burgeoning genealogy community now on the Substack platform, our hometown writer has become a magnet for family stories with her serialization and stories. And now, here from her home in Wyoming, is
Yeah,
packing up quite literally
Salt
for the
Lake.
trip to Salt Lake City. And I just saw Bowerbird drive by, and Australia is in the room. We were just talking about the
We
concept of
were.
long drives
Yeah,
and the American West. Hello, Jennifer. We were just talking about you
just talking
too.
about just talking about you too.
So, Lori, tell me
Yeah.
about your what's coming on this road trip to Utah.
Well, we're gonna leave in the morning. We're all packed up, I think. Doesn't look like it's gonna snow, so we're ready. It's like 4 hours from where we are, so not very far. Nice, easy drive. Super excited. I'm super excited. I think I've got a little suitcase just for being there, and I'm ready. I'm ready.
I was asking you earlier, are you hydrated? With a little experience in the Middle East, you kind of know how to handle the altitude from Wyoming and to the desert, right?
Yeah, yeah, yep. We are definitely a people that hydrate. We always have water in the
Yeah,
wherever we
yeah,
are. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Always
The heart
important things. But
habit,
from out
habit.
here with our bunny slippers, we just keep a nice warm beverage nearby.
Yeah,
You are actually an official Roots Tech media representative too.
I
So
am.
you've been
I am.
lining up conversations, and tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I'm just going to be just like doing short interviews with some people, some vendors. I'm going to talk to people that um are have something to do with lost and found stories. So I kind of went through all the vendors and kind of reached out and said, like kind of things. And I've got some that are not that, but most of them are. And so like people that are doing DNA from obscure things. There's a couple there that are doing some of that kind of stuff. Um,
So your lost and found stories for people who
yeah,
don't know what those are. Tell us a little
yeah,
bit about that first, and then how
sure.
you go find the right people to be talking to.
Yeah, okay. Well, so for like since probably the 80s, um, I kept a little teaser file of stories that I'd come across in the newspaper or in a book or whatever. And it's just little stories that were like, huh, that should be cool to follow up. I wonder if anybody knows about that. And so I've been writing those for just a really long time. And so that when I came across the story of Amy Henry, which is the first story that I shared on Substack, and I diddled around with it for a while. I knew it was a great story, and I didn't know how to tell it because I really wanted to get the story, but I wanted to get the stuff on the side. I wanted the side stuff too, and so nosed around in Substack for a while and thought that would probably be the place to put it. And so that was kind of the first one that I put on Substack, not the first one I wrote. First lost and found story I published, I think was in 1999. I wrote a book about an explosion that happened in East Texas that had been basically kind of it happened. It was horrible, and it had kind of been forgotten. So I've been doing this for a long time, and so I take out my teaser file sometimes. Sometimes I
Uh-huh.
go and I'll sit on the couch and go through old newspapers or uh, books that I read, old books, old history books. Yeah.
So tell
So
me about this on the side, because I think what you're getting at to you take a clipping, these little tiny clippings and stories, and go,
mhm.
and then
Mm,
you go and find more and more, go
yeah,
down this rabbit hole.
all the
But
time.
what do you mean by on the side? And then how is that informing what you're looking for at the show?
Well, so I like to stay in a lane. I'm a lane person. So I like to tell I like to tell the story of the story of the person I'm following, the lost story of this person. But then in because I research so deeply around each of these, I do the full family tree. I do the friends and neighbors and associates. I'll go pretty far. I read about contextualizing it in terms of what was going on in history at the time, or what was going politically, or all those other things that inform the original story, but don't really fit into the story that I'm telling. And so that those are kind of the side dishes that I like to put on the side, because
Right.
I think as a writer, you put everything into this soup. Everything goes in, and then it boils around, and then the story comes out. But there's all this other stuff that informed the story, and I
Yeah.
I feel like it's important to talk about those things too.
Yeah.
So
Well, you're such
and
a
Substack
wonderful
allows me to do that.
storyteller.
Yeah,
You're
thank
such
you.
a wonderful
Thank you.
storyteller, and I know you're going to come back and tell us about the show, but there's a second publication that you have, since you have the
Yeah.
metaphor of soup there. Do you want to tell us a
Yeah.
little about that?
Yeah, sure. So, I've been doing genealogy for quite a while, and a couple years ago, I got really fascinated with culinary history, the food that we eat, and the memories. And for me, that's a lot of my memories are interwoven with food. And so, I started culinary history as family history, and I haven't really done any advertising for it. I've just kind of been putting stuff out there, and it's been great because everybody has food memories. And
That's
so
right.
you start talking about the candy that you ate when you were in middle school, and everybody can remember the candy they ate in middle school. So there's been a lot
Oh,
of yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. I'm enjoying that a lot. It's The research is a little less intense, which
yeah.
is nice because
Yeah.
you know it's
So
just a
that's
different kind
taking
of
you,
story.
you're riding this train of stories on the road to Salt Lake. So what are
Yeah.
you looking for in Salt Lake?
Well, so going back to the vendors, like there's a couple people that are doing DNA from objects, which I think is fascinating, right? Because so imagine that you've got your grandma's. I've got my grandma's old hat. uh, Imagine that you could get DNA off there and find something up about that. Not just so it's not just the spitting in the vial kind of DNA analysis. There's people that are doing those kinds of things. There's people that are doing facial recognition kind of things, that are I've got all these pictures. How do I know who these people are?
Mhm.
Which goes a lot to the stories that I'm telling, because sometimes sometimes there's a photo and it's like I don't it could be this person, but I don't know. And how do you go about those kinds of things,
Mm,
those relationships? So
yeah.
I'm going to be talking to some of those people. I'm talking to mostly just smaller. I'm not going to really spend a lot of time talking to the big people. Um,
Hmm.
Somebody else can do that.
Yeah.
I'm just
Well, in so many ways, I think when we do family history, when we do genealogy and write the stories of our own families, somebody else is writing the big textbooks that describe
Yeah,
the narrative of a historic time. This is personal. And what
yeah.
you're doing is, in a sense, almost telling, "Hi there, Robin." What you're almost doing is telling the little stories that are
Yeah.
sometimes where the deeper truths come out.
For sure, and that's something that I've done for a really long time, is try to find the stories that they're little stories with really big impact. That it's that you read it and you're like, I may have not gone through all of those things, but man, I have come up against things that test my endurance and have made me stronger, and I could have become bitter, or I could have been something else, but I chose this. And there's always things in those stories I try to find the heart of, um
Mhm.
and try to find, is this something that I mean, and I've got a ton of stories, and there's a lot of them that I've done months and months of research on, and I can't find the heart, and I just put them
Mm.
away. because I
Mm.
know, because I'd rather not. I don't want to tell those stories. I want to tell
I
the
do
ones that have the
love
heart.
I do love that you didn't say you throw them away, you put them away,
Yeah,
because they
right.
come
Yeah,
back, don't they?
for sure, for sure. Yeah, yeah. In fact, I'm working on one right now that I started that I put in my file um 31 years ago.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, right.
You are
So
such a disciplined writer and such a fine storyteller. You're an inspiration to so
uh,
many of us in this little
thanks.
Substack world as we reach out and
Growing.
meet our cousins and friends. So
Yeah.
as you
Oh,
head into yeah.
the other thing I'm going to be doing, I'm talking, I'm set up to talk to almost all of the genealogy societies, because
Ah,
genealogy societies are gold mines for stories. Every one of those people you go into it, you go into a historical society anywhere in America, and probably anywhere in the world, and you sit down and you talk to them, you say, so what's a cool story that nobody else knows about? And they'll blow you out of the water. You know,
that's the perfect one question.
it
The
is.
perfect one
It
question.
is. Yeah. I was a syndicated travel writer for a while, and we would just go. I mean, we would just walk into like the diner, or the laundromat, and I'd say, "So what's cool here? What what's a story about this place that somebody that like me that just walks in doesn't know?" And I got fabulous stories. Um. So yeah. So I'm gonna be doing. Oh, I will have you speaking. Yeah, oh, so I'm gonna be talking to genealogy societies,
Yeah.
as many as I can fit in,
Actually,
because they're super
uh,
cool.
they're super cool. We all
They're
think they're
super
super
cool,
cool here in this world of telling stories.
right?
Hello. We'd
Yeah,
love to find ways to find genealogy societies, historical societies.
absolutely.
Here in my town, we have a architectural historical society.
Oh,
All of
very
these
cool.
kinds of yeah, all of these kinds of groups that are really the keepers of the flame,
You bet.
and trying to find ways to follow up on that. By the way, a quick reminder for all of you who are new to Substack and Substack Live. First, welcome. Delighted to have you. But also, one of the funky things about the way this all works is your chat messages fly by for us. So forgive
So
me if I
fast.
don't get a chance to say thank you. We love every one of them, but they also don't stick. I don't get to see them later either. So I love this idea of following up for historical societies in particular.
Yeah,
We'd
yeah,
love to help you meet more
absolutely.
people in this crazy platform.
Yep.
Always enjoy opportunities to speak, but DM me, DM Lori,
Yeah, for sure.
and let's find a way to put this together. And that's true
Yeah,
for everybody within this
yeah.
community.
I, I actually I have two really good ideas about genealogy societies. I'm not going to talk to you about them now, but sometime we're going to sit down and talk about those.
I think maybe we have a little thing coming.
I think we
If you
might.
don't,
Yeah.
if you haven't seen it, Lori did the most wonderful special event for Project Kin back in February,
Yeah,
just before
right before
Valentine's
four. Yep,
Day,
yep. Hmm.
telling the story of German chocolate cake and Howard and Elvira. So you'll find that in our archives. DM me if you can't find it. Let me know. And it
I'm
was
going to put a
such a
plug in
delight.
too before we leave.
Yeah, plugs are good.
The last story I did on the culinary history one was talking about potato salad, and I've had a
Uh-huh.
bunch of people say about their potato salad recipes. So I am through May 1st, I'm going to be accepting all y'all's potato salad recipes, and I'm going to put them all together with a little show a little story, a little bit about them, the recipe. Going to put them all in a PDF, and I'm just going to send it out into the Substack world. Um,
Yay!
right?
Hey,
It's going to be fabulous because I didn't know that potato salad was. I mean, I know it's divisive because there's like the mustard and the vinegar people, right? Ugh.
it's right
But
up there with barbecue.
for sure, right? And so people have been like, "Oh my, this is the kind we have." And so if you have a potato salad recipe, send it over. A little bit of a story, just a little bit, like 3 minutes. Send it over, and we're gonna get this out, and in time
Okay.
for Memorial Day picnics, of
Oh, there you
course,
go. There you
right?
go.
Yeah,
That's the kind of giving we're all about. And someday we'll have a giant virtual picnic, live picnic.
right?
Wouldn't that be
Yeah,
fun?
yeah, yeah.
Tell us about what
Yeah.
you're eating.
Yeah. Yeah, there's probably people during the pandemic that did that. It's like
You know they were. It was pretty sad.
but yeah, so yeah, I'm super excited about getting down there tomorrow. Really looking forward to seeing meeting people that I've seen on Substack and in other virtual worlds, in getting to talk to a lot of them. Just hanging out, meeting cool people that are interested in stuff. I'm super excited.
So
Super
I'm
excited.
going to be, as you know, I will be including links to all of these kinds of things and perhaps even a drop form, or I'll help you make one for you know I will. For
Because I can't.
it's okay. It's why it's a team. For all of these things coming together in the notes because it's just so
Yeah,
easy to do that. We have the
yeah,
combination of the actual video and then the things and links that you can follow up with, and it's
yeah.
so nice to be able to do that in a safe space that we know what's happening, where things are happening. I can't wait to get there myself tomorrow afternoon, except I can't see who you are.
Yay.
Oh, hello, Karen. Great.
I should be there tomorrow, noonish, something like that. So,
Well, drive safely, you know.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Don't send Smokey after you.
No, 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 no. Yeah. So I'm super excited, and if you see me, this is what I look like. If you see me, stop me, say hi, introduce yourself. I'll just be hanging out, meeting people, and going to lots of great presentations,
How
super good
are you
presentations.
managing the presentations you can't get to? Because, you know,
I'm just letting them go. I'm just I'm just letting him go. I mean, I know some of them are going to be online, and
uh,
frankly, I've got we've got a bunch of stuff going on in the next couple months, um, and I'll download the ones I can and watch them, but there's always opportunities that are missed,
yeah,
um,
that's
and I'm fairly good at just like let it go, because
what a healthy worldview. What a healthy worldview. I think we
it's
could
it's
all
hard
learn from
because
that. Yeah,
there's so many cool things, and
yeah.
you can chase down every one of those rabbits, but I
It's like
can't.
a room full of rabbit holes. Oh,
It is, right? And then all of the AI stuff. I mean, I know we're going over here a bit, but there's
oh,
so
that's
many
right.
AIs, like 40 billion different kinds of AI stuff. Um,
So if we send the
so
AI bots chasing after our rabbit holes, it's no fun at all. I mean, you know?
yeah, right. I'm gonna like I'm going to two, I think, of those, maybe two of those. Um, I have some hard spots with AI, but I'm not a real
The best
technology
AI is the one
person.
that doesn't get in
Yeah,
your way. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
one of the things I want to put a plug in for is that next week, each month as Mission Genealogy, we try to have these gatherings that help us make all of this tech very human by
Mhm.
creating a space to have one-on-one uh, bye, Jane. Have one-on-one connections with each other. And because Roots Tech falls on the first week of the month, we're missing out on our Asia Pacific timed version of that. So we're going to do two sessions in one day, and two 90-minute sessions in one day, March 11th Pacific time, which is March 12th in Asia Pacific. And all of that's on our missiongenealogy.org/events.
Mhm.
But we haven't really defined. I do an office hours section for each one with some little tutorial thingy mabob you didn't know you needed to know. I don't know that makes sense right after Roots Tech. I think we need to have a debrief what did you see that was most
Yeah,
amazing or something
yeah,
like that. So drop it here. We're open to ideas
yeah.
of topics to pick up. I like to have a little segment of it that's recorded, but a big chunk of it is not recorded at all,
Mm,
precisely so that people feel comfortable just speaking their mind,
right.
which isn't
And
always true in
yeah,
recorded
and I know a
sessions.
lot of people are going to be watching it virtually, and they're gonna if they can they're gonna do all those other things that all those other presentations too that are going to be great.
Yeah,
Um,
but those are
so they can
available for like a year afterwards,
yeah,
aren't they?
right,
They always
yeah. So
were.
we yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sure how long, but yeah, so we can those can be involved in that too.
Exactly.
Get lots of
Right. Well,
good ideas.
to that extent, we try very hard to keep these short and sweet, so that we can, you know, do as many as we're doing. Again, we have one per day, Monday through, well, we started Saturday, of course, Monday through Wednesday. So one more tomorrow.
Very
And
good. Thanks,
oh,
Karen.
thank you. Appreciate that, Karen. They are live for 3 years unless they become outdated. Good tip.
Perfect.
And then during the 3 days of the show, we're going to do 2 shows a day, but I'm only going to email out one recording because ah,
Yeah.
too many.
Right.
We have to manage that. Any last comments before we button this up?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
All right.
I'm super excited.
I'm
I'm gonna
happy to hear
represent.
from you
Yeah,
during the show, as I've shared with all of our Roots Tech Ride Along troopers, that I'm perfectly happy to have both the folks from home and the folks on site, and really all of you within our recorded audience.
yeah,
If you see something really extraordinary that you'd like to share, and it's, come on, not an ad for somebody else
yeah,
or
yeah. Right.
yourself, then send it on in to me. And trust me, I'll to find a way to shuffle it all in. And if you didn't like it or you have more to say, toss them in the comments because it's
Yeah.
a community after all,
Right. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. 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 I think it's going to be brilliant. Because everybody sees something. You take if you're sitting for an hour, so everybody's gonna hear something different.
Well,
Um,
that's exactly it. The very nature of the thing is that we're
mhm.
always looking at this, and this gives us, oh, that sounds creepy, a thousand eyes
Yeah.
to see the whole show together,
Right. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
gain that perspective, which I think
Mhm,
is sort of to the core. So
mhm.
tomorrow's section, we have a special guest, the first of our not on site, Jennifer Jones, chiming in from Victoria, Australia, where, after all, she and Jane and the rest of our community in Australia get to tell us about tomorrow, today. She will be joining us as my guest here on our Roots Tech Ride Along. So stay
Perfect.
tuned for that one. Same bat time, same bat channel, whatever that time is on your calendar. And I will see you then. All right.
Perfect.
Till
I'll
then,
I'll see
thank
you
you
from
so
Salt
much.
Lake. Bye
Bye bye,
bye.
everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I can't tell you
Yep.
how much fun it is at this end to
Super
watch your
fun.
lovely comments fly by and this incredible support. This is just too much fun. Bill, you're on. You're coming on up on what is this, Thursday morning, right?
Yeah,
No,
Thursday
on
morning.
oh no, he's coming up on Friday morning.
Oh,
It's so hard to
okay.
keep up. It's so hard to keep up, but I
That's why
try.
you're the
That's why I
ringmaster.
put together no, missiongenealogy.org/events. I
Yeah.
do all those shortcuts because I can't remember
Uh,
these things.
again, that's why you're the ringmaster.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Take care
All
now.
right.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye
Yep.
bye,
Bye bye.
everybody. Thank you.